set at 9.5. And now, to their credit, Brew, the Cowboys have consistently over-delivered. Only the Cowboys and the Steelers have gone over their win total in each of the last 3 seasons. So do you expect the Cowboys to over or under-deliver this year?
Okay, I'm going to say I think they're a 10-win, maybe 11-win team. So that
over.
Technically would be over.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I'm viewing that as under because they've won. No, here's why. Because they've won their 12 games in each of the last 3 years. They are still S-Bob. I mean, Micah Parsons just said it the other day.
Well, he said S-Bond, to be fair. But
so
yes.
My point is, even if you go over 9.5 wins, I don't care. I don't bet. All right. So I don't care.
That's kind of the crux
10 wins. 10 wins is taking a step backwards, and that's what I think they'll do. I don't think they're a 9. I think they're a 10-win team. So that's over. But they will take a step back and not be as good as they were last year.
So listen,
that's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
It makes sense, but it also
You
is.
don't want to agree with me, but
it's
you
just
know
that
what?
you don't
I'm
want,
nuanced. I don't just think in black and white. I got nuance up in
You
here.
don't want to say the Cowboys will overachieve, which is your answer. So you're finding a way to say them hitting the
They've had a horrible. I really think under 12 wins is and not really a contender anymore is a step back.
Okay, but then I guess you would agree then if we rephrase this slightly, the market and the public has overreacted to how much of a step back they took. If the number's 9.5 and it's the most bet under, that means folks think this is going to be a 9-win team.
Right.
You think that's an overreaction. Yeah. You think that the Cowboys will still be a double-digit win team, but they're not headed in the right direction, that they're going the other direction.
Right.
I think that analysis is totally fair. I think I think this number, I think betting the Cowboys to go under 10 wins, I think is a dumb bet. I think like most,
it's hard to see
when they were the number 1 offense in football last year, the number 5 defense in football, they had the number 2 point differential. Brew focused all his attention on the tomato cans thing, which was a fun bit, but here's what's also true. 2 teams in the NFC total, the Niners and the Eagles, had more wins against playoff teams than the Cowboys last year. 2 total. This idea that there's a lot of teams that just beat 7 playoff teams over the course of the year, they don't. Every team.
Tomato cans is more about margin of victory.
Yeah, they were
and all
stomping.
that stuff.
I get that, but the idea that they couldn't beat good teams, my point is they beat Philly, they beat the Rams, they beat Detroit. That's 3 wins over playoff teams. No one in the NFC, other than San Francisco and Philly, had more wins over playoff teams than Dallas did. Say it again.
The Jets. Somebody in the AFC.
Okay, there you go.
They beat 3 playoff teams.
It's always odd. Remember they beat
praised.
the Rams when the Rams weren't good.
No, but by the way,
when they beat
Philly,
Philly,
gave it to them.
Hold on.
See,
but again, that's where Cowboys fans rightfully get mad at the media. The Rams didn't. Was Stafford out? No,
but they kind of turned it around later in the season.
No, I think people started acknowledging the Rams were good. The Rams didn't start 1-7 and all of a sudden get hot. The Rams, people underrated, myself included, at the beginning of the year, and then realized by the end of the year, oh, this is a good team. But because the Cowboys beat them at the beginning of the year, we were like, they were one of Brew's actual tomato cans, if you will.
The Rams, and they started slow.
And I don't know that they.
The record wasn't.
I don't think they were
very good.
Okay, all right, they were.
Dusty, were Rams tomato cans?
100%, and I made Brew take it off. They were 100% were a tomato can. They were. And then can I ask one?
This is the only tomato can that's down here right now.
I can't believe
this is the only one that's
guys,
down here right now.
Started 3-6, Dusty. We're looking for a tomato.
Can I ask you a serious question? I promise you, I'm on that tomato can.
Oh,
that the Rams were briefly tomato. They were on the tomato can.
Yes.
Do you think they will be able to get from whomever their running back is this year, 59 yards?
The Cowboys?
Yes, 59 yards per game, 4 yards per carry, and a half dozen touchdowns. Do you think that is okay?
Combined,
No.
I don't know
from
that
their
one
lead,
guy
from their lead back.
I don't know that they'll have a running back that averages 59 yards a game.
I'm not. The reason I'm saying that's what Tony Pollard gave them. So I understand that. I also thought them not adding a running back was a mistake, but I don't think it is. I don't think that they are losing an elite running back that they have to replace. They're losing.
But they have. We don't even know if they have a competent running back.
I'll go ahead. I'll go out on a limb and say they have a running back put up the equivalent to what Tony Pollard did last year.
Dowdle's going to be as good as.
I don't know who it'll be.
think so.
It might be a veteran who gets cut during camp and they add. I'm saying I think they'll have a running back that averages
They
4
lost a
yards a
few
carry,
offensive-
has
they
a
did
half
have a
dozen
good draft with
touchdowns,
the line.
and around 60 yards per game. I don't think that's ridiculous. Go ahead.
I don't think
Royals.
they're
I'm going to throw up the Cowboys schedule, bro.
Yeah.
Because if the over-under is 9.5, I've got a few obvious L's here.
Okay.
And then they always have one sneaky loss, like the Cardinals lost last year.
Before you give an obvious L, can I just remind you one thing?
Sure.
The last 2 years, they are 16-1 at home. So these obvious L's better not be home games.
I think one of them is.
At Cleveland.
Okay.
That's
sure.
an-
That's an
that's an
obvious
obvious
L?
Yeah.
I think I screwed
That's not an
you up there.
obvious L. That's an L. That's me going, that's a little bit out on a limb.
Okay,
L.
that's
taking
fine.
obvious out, just L's. in
No.
your-
I think
Week
they only
3,
have-
obvious L.
So a home game is
That's
an
home.
obvious L.
Well, here's the thing. If Lamar, and again, I'm also nuanced.
You're way off the obvious. Just get rid
because
of
the home
obvious
game
and then it'll
thing
make more
kills it.
sense.
They don't have hard road games, which is why they're going to go over. Why?
Just
Basically
say
lost
these
that
are
Lions
games
game
I
at home.
think
Let's
they'll
be honest.
lose.
They basically lost
okay,
that
but that's
Lions game.
Wiles,
I count that as a loss.
That's another
all
obvious
of
L.
their,
It was, and it was last
Here's
year.
the brew, and here's where you'll agree with me. Aside from the Niners game, all of their hard games are at home. The Eagles, they play
They're
both
gonna
places.
split with the Eagles.
The Bengals are at home.
Yep.
The Lions,
Texans.
the Texans, the Ravens,
Yeah.
they're all at home. That to me really works in their favor. They have been an excellent home team. Like
That's
you
true.
can't.
But they're going to lose a couple home games. They're going to lose more than one. Wouldn't you say that?
Well, I mean, last year they were undefeated at home. The year before they were 8-1 at home. So sure, even if they lose,
I know, but then
They're gonna
when
lose
it
at
came
least
time
two,
to
not
really,
right.
Take
Right, but
care
that's
of
a-
home court advantage.
that's a different question.
They lost the defensive
They
coordinator.
lost-
When other teams lose defensive coordinators, the sky is falling, according to me.
No,
So
what
they
do you
lost
mean?
their defense.
No, I think the Ravens lost the defensive coordinator because he was awesome. I think that hurts them a lot. Yes, I
Dan
agree.
Quinn's not a good defensive coordinator?
No, I'm not saying that. I think the loss of Mike McDonald is a very significant coordinating loss. But go ahead.
Baltimore.
Yeah, your obvious losses, your obvious.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's
off.
He's
because they're
gone
all
off
home
that
games.
take.
49ers.
They're all home
You've
games.
gone away from
They're all home games. It threw it. It threw them off. It's
Obvious losses.
at home.
That-
You got them going like 3-5 at home or something like
it's
that.
That's not outrageous.
Yes,
a team that went 16-1 the last 2 years at home.
I don't care about 2 years ago.
No,
Who cares?
Last
the last two. All right, last year they were undefeated at home.
No, they weren't. They're on a
Right.
one-game losing streak at home. One of the most embarrassing games I've ever seen.
Okay, all right.
That's because it was the playoffs
Yeah,
and they
which is-
crumble under pressure.
Well, guess what?
There won't be
At
pressure in the regular
Baltimore
season
coming
game.
into your building with Lamar.
okay,
He would
they're
have
gonna
beaten
lose a
the
couple.
lost to the Chiefs and then beat the Raiders. Then he's got to go there. That's playoff
They're
atmosphere.
gonna lose a couple.
That's must-win
not
games.
5
Lamar's
at
got
home.
2 must-win games in the first 3 weeks of the season. That's playoff atmosphere.
Must win.
Now it's
I
Lamar
told you
versus Dak.
yesterday, the Chiefs is not a must win for them. Book it.
You know what? YouTube comments agree with you.